Hello, YouTubers. This is another session where we continue our journey to building a new .NET library that we call .NET Neo, or Data Neo. And, as you're following us, there's a lot of people following us today, on this channel. I tried to mute I tried to mute Paul. I need to fix that time, Paul. I'm sorry, man. We just need to, it seems like the community is getting more and more bigger, and people are now breaking down our sessions. Like Yasser, he keeps coming back and breaking down the session into segments. I really appreciate. This is the beautiful thing about community. That's the community for you. People will jump in, will hang out with you if they feel like there's some fun involved. Speaking of which, do you guys eat fava beans in England? Fava beans. That,
Are they just like runner beans? They're like peas in a pod, yeah?
yeah, yeah. They're not peas. They're fava beans. You know. And we're joined today by Captain America. What's up, Cap?
What's up? Hey, San. Hey, Paul.
It's quite
Yeah,
Speaking of
interesting
which,
actually
did
seeing what
everyone
people.
see the? Sorry.
Yeah, it's quite interesting seeing what people timestamp when they do the breakdowns. It's like, and here's the bit where somebody failed, and here's the bit where someone made me laugh, and it's just like, oh god. And then there was the joke about this, and then there was the joke about that. Oh, and then we sidetracked.
Hi,
I was gonna
Sam.
say, if we're talking about Marvel, Did everyone see the Doctor Strange trailer last night?
Yeah, I
Did you
love
catch
Doctor
Professor
Strange.
X?
Did you see the Black Panther sitting in the back?
Do you think that's him? I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's like a
I
shadow.
do think that's him. I do genuinely think that's probably him. Well, here's the thing. Remember, Chadwick,
Yeah,
he was mostly like some superheroes are CGI. Like Iron
yeah.
Man, it's fully CGI. He'd be sitting there in the office, sipping some, cold, beverage while Captain America is in the heat because he can't cover his face, so it has to be him.
Right.
It's yeah, I saw that. I love Marvel, by the way. I'm like a huge fan, and so far, by far, like in the new phase in the
Hmm.
universe, definitely WandaVision, that's one,
Hmm.
and Loki
Yeah,
on
Logan's
Disney.
fantastic. So
Yeah,
in the
that's
trailer, did
yeah.
when Wanda's confronting herself, that was in the home that she built in like whatever, like East whatever, like in the town
Yep.
in the series, right?
Westview,
Zombies were
was it?
shown.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
zombies
yeah.
were shown. The evil Doctor Strange from What If was shown. I mean, like, here's the thing: if they're going to show us that much in the trailer, how much do you think is in the movie that they're not showing us?
There's a lot of content. I know.
It's crazy.
I'll tell you this. What really excites me about Marvel is that they never stop the surprise factor. There's
Yeah.
always a surprise factor. Spider-Man, spoilers.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
stopping.
Stop.
It'll blow your mind. It'll change everything. I hope that nobody spoiled it for you because
No, not yet. I've
okay,
been very fortunate so far.
yeah, I went and watched this thing firsthand, and the screaming in the theater was outside of this world. I don't know. It's something else.
By the
Okay.
way,
Good.
I need to fess up. So the range operator from last week, I was wrong. Caret one is one, it omits the last item.
No
So
way.
you were right. I was wrong about
See,
that.
Nick is see. I appreciate that, Nick, but this is not the kind of crowd that you want to stand up in the middle of and say I was wrong because that's not
Uh,
gonna go.
you know, maybe it's not, but I mean, my personal ethos is like, listen, if I did not say it, it would weigh on me, right?
That's
It's
okay.
like if it's just a personal thing, but like I'm more than happy to stand up and say, listen, I was wrong. And that's it, right? Like
All
at least
right.
people will know, like, because someone could, Paul, I know, is going to be like, that motherfucker is like, just lying. He's just lying now, right? But
He's
now if Paul comes
misguiding
back and
us.
tries to, and it's a cover your ass move too. If he comes back and is like, well, when I was like, no, but I admitted to it,
Yep,
right?
you,
So
they,
like,
they can't hold it against you now. You kind of Say I admitted it. You can't do nothing to me, right? It's like when people bully you for something, oh, you're too short or you're too tall. Be like, yep, totally, I'm shorty. What are you gonna do with it? You know, just it dies there, right there. All
You have
right,
no
and we have
power over me.
right.
There was a couple of really good PM jokes in there, but I held off. I held off.
We'll get it back. We'll get him. He wanted to start all noble and stuff. We'll get him. Anyway, I'm happy to see all of you today. This is a good crowd. We're building stuff and we're hanging out. We're having fun. By the way, two quick things. Number one, today is the .NET framework birthday, 20 years. Wow, it's been a very long journey. Like actually, as we're speaking right now, people are celebrating, and it's really amazing just to learn how you can build a framework that can live that long. It's a very long time, and it went through rewrites and all that. Still planning to rewrite the whole darn thing because I don't like a lot of things in there. But for people watching us that they don't know, if you go to source.net, the website, you can actually view all the source code for everything, and inside the .NET Core at least. And then the other thing, Sam, last week, he actually was sitting down with a gentleman. His name is Andrea from Italy, and he sat down with the gentleman. He was helping him out and all that kind of stuff. He never stops helping people, like Sam. He's very very adamant on making sure that people get the right answers. And this kid here, he just he's a junior .NET developer in Italy. This is his second post ever on LinkedIn, and he talked a lot about Sam and how Sam helped him out. And I didn't know he took a screenshot of the two of
I
us,
don't know.
and then it exploded on LinkedIn. It just went beyond, like it just went like this, like how much people just love the fact that he said, "How beautiful are these people explaining anything to me without making me feel stupid." That's Sam shoot for you right there. He'll explain something to you, and he will go back and forth and over again. So Andrea, if you're watching, thank you so much for the shout out. Sam is actually really a great guy, and I'd like to call him a friend. I don't know if he thinks that I'm his friend. My wife always tells me, make sure when you call people friends, they feel the same. so, so, so that's one part. And then the other thing is, I hope that there will be a point in time, whatever comes out of OData Neo, that's my dream for it. As I want people to be able to, the least amount of effort possible, you can understand how this library works, and then boom. And I'm gonna upload all of these sessions on the GitHub repo itself, so people see how the software actually was being built. This part of this theory to turn building software into, like, because I care more about the journey than the end product. Who here loves Johnny Depp? Do you guys watch Johnny Depp? Anybody here? Pirates of the Caribbean.
I thought you said, oh, Johnny Depp. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah.
So he was sitting with what's his name? Is it Kimmel? He was sitting with Kimmel once, and Kimmel was like, no, it was David Letterman, back when David Letterman was doing the Tonight Show,
Oh, NBC, yeah.
the Late Show, yeah. And he said to him, Johnny Depp said to him, "I never watch my own movies." And Letterman was like dumbfounded. He's like, why you don't watch your own movies? He said, "I enjoy the experience more than the actual end product. Like once I'm done acting, it's him out there. It's Jack Sparrow out there. I don't care, about that end product. I really enjoy the experience." And I think I'm somewhat in a similar boat. I really do enjoy building the software. The end product is like 20-minute demo and we're done,
I
right?
mean, like I take the same approach to any, once I release it's a prod, I don't care about it anymore. I'm not going to fix bugs. Are you kidding me? It's gone.
It's
It's
someone
done.
else's problem. Okay, so let's circle back because I know Joe has to leave. I know a lot of you have, other things to do. It's Monday morning, so a lot of things are happening. Last time, Paul, for people watching us, he actually figured out the problem literally like 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes right after we dropped the call. And I had to drop the call. It was like an hour 14 or something, and I needed to go talk to Steve Sanderson. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna work. The guy is waiting. I'm gonna have to cancel it. I'm gonna have to call it off. So wherever Paul disappeared to, Paul turned into a dog. What the heck? I didn't know. I didn't know he was a shapeshifter. Hey, Paul. Oh, look
Cool.
at this little cutie.
Aw, she's very cute.
Paul, what's her name?
This is Alice, guys, programmer in training. She's going to know more C# than she knows English.
She's
Alice in
pointing at me. She's
Wonderland.
like, "Get that dude off the screen."
Alice in Wonderland. So,
Yeah,
guys, if you were to pick up a character from Alice in Wonderland, who would that be? I'm gonna claim, the caterpillar for sure, Epsilon for sure. I am that
Oh,
guy.
I want to be the Cheshire Cat, but I'm
Oh,
probably
Cheshire.
the White Rabbit in reality.
It seems that you've been, harmed by something with wicked claws. I love chess. Cheshire is the best. All this talk of slaying and such has put me off my tea. Yeah. No, I love Alice in Wonderland. I think speaking of Johnny Depp again, he was on that, show, and he's doing that movie, and he was doing such a great job. Okay, so Paul, you figured it out. The test passed and everything.
Yes. So, sorry, little one. I've just had to grab her because she's just
Okay.
thrown up everywhere. So my wife's gone to clean herself up. Once she's
Okay.
tidied up, I'll be able to put little one down. But essentially,
Uh-huh.
the answer was 10 minutes after we finished. Believe it or not, ridiculous, right?
That's life for you.
I recognised what the answer was in that I'd already defined the function in line. In that it was a recursive problem. The issue that I found was that I was referring to variables with basically the same name as the variables that I was defining inside my recursive function. So there was some confusion going on in the compiler where sometimes I was referencing stuff in the outer scope inside the function that I should have been referencing.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was moving the logic out. See what I can do.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah. Share screen.
It's gonna get very, very interesting in a second. Let's just go. There we are. All right. There we are.
Zoom in.
Yeah, this is
There we
4K
go.
screen. Yeah, there you go. Now I can see. Thank you so much. Yep. That's the one.
This implementation passes all three of the current tests, as you can see. All I'd essentially done is I've taken the logic that I had and just put it into a proper method. And the method now is recursive, so it can effectively call itself when it sees an inner expression, essentially.
And then you terminated. We're gonna refactor this a little bit, but then you said, okay, if the length is not larger than 1, then terminate. Just return null and move on. Love it.
Yeah.
And
so
much simpler too. Oh, that's much cleaner too. Go ahead.
So that will either give you an array of children or it won't, essentially. So I'm either populating the property or I'm not. And that obviously depends on what's in the string. So if there wasn't anything there anyway, you wouldn't expect there to be any children, right?
Wow, you really win at this. You just win and you really cleaned it up. Okay, just make the parse p uppercase because it's a function. It's not freaking Java, for God's sake. What's wrong with you? What happened to you? It's like speaking an English accent.
Oh, we're going down that route again, are we? Okay.
So wait. Now I have this infection where I can't just say Friday like a normal person. I always say Friday, and I need to stop doing that. I was literally talking to a VP level at Microsoft, and I said, "Let's meet Friday," and he just gave me that little weird quick look, and then he said, "Yeah, talk to you later, Hassan," and he hung up.
But he had to double take it, did he? He was like, what?
Did he say Friday, or am I too drunk? All right, cool. So you have it passing. Now, Paul, it's your turn to write more code. Do you know what more code you're going to write?
Yay! Right, I need to commit this first, though, don't I? Because I don't think I actually got around to doing that last week.
Yep, you're going to have to put in this name, and then you say pass. And then Nick will just sit here and judge you for days.
It looks like Sam has the hood of summary judgment on, so
Yeah,
it's time to be able
Sam.
to.
Sam turned into Darth Vader. He just put on the hoodie and be like, "Listen, you're just gonna listen to me. This is what's gonna happen." Sam, how
That's
was
it.
your weekend? You,
Weekend. It's
yeah,
good.
you got popular over the weekend. You know, everyone's talking about you on LinkedIn. This is good. See, you hang out with
Thanks.
me, you'll end up in the news. Good news or bad news, we don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a picture and looks very bad. It's a picture.
Oh, you mean the one on the LinkedIn post? Have you seen what I look like? I look like a Neanderthal. I was like, what is this code?
He didn't know. If he can give me a message, so maybe I can
Just
do
adjust.
something better to change your clothes, something like this.
I'll tell you this though, he felt something. Like he didn't actually think we were gonna
Mm.
respond to him, but he reached out to me on LinkedIn. I'm super active. He asked on Stack Overflow. He posted on GitHub. He didn't come through. Let's continue that momentum, Sam. Let's just keep loving people, okay? Through
Yeah.
OData.
So
It's all good.
when I saw screen snapshot, so I realized I have to cut my hairs. So I cut my
Yep,
hairs
yep. You need
weekend.
you know you're so lucky. Your hair still grows. I don't know what's on top of my head. I know it's not my hair.
So I just wanted to
Uh,
point out that I added this two-string override on ONode. I don't know if we'd want to keep it or not, but it was just an
Not.
easy convenience when I was debugging, because
Yes.
it meant that in the debugger, whenever I look at an ONode, it spits out that instead.
Okay,
But
so here,
yeah, if,
so here's the deal, my dear friend, just to explain to you. This is a
yeah.
function in a data carrier. Like models should either provide functions or data, but not both. Unless you're
Right,
going and,
but
go ahead.
within the C# language,
Mhm.
everything is an object, and every object has a two-string method. So to my mind, it was a thing that was already there. I just made it a bit
Just
nicer.
overrid it.
I know technically, yeah, you're probably right, and we want to try and keep data objects as being purely data, and then
Yep.
have something else that serializes them. I
Yep.
wouldn't expect this to be the thing that we would use to serialize a model. It's just a thing that's useful in a sort of debugging context, if that makes sense.
There is an attribute you can add.
There's a what?
There's an attribute you can add for debugger display.
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's the argument that you shouldn't be adding attributes to like your data model, right?
You can also say conditional,
I'll say this, right? Like toString
I don't
is
know if
so
that's
incredibly vague in terms of what it's intended to be used for, that in this particular case, I don't care, because there's no thing that says, oh, toString is used for serialization. It's used for this. It's used for this. It's like, it's so vague in what you can use it for that like repurposing it for this, I'd have no problem with.
Okay, so there's that part, and also there's one more thing. Paul, let's not add code unless there's a test that requires it. This is really important. That's truly what test-driven development is, okay? Let's stick there. Okay, so you did your commit, my friend? Is that what it is? Just a commit. You don't need to push. You still need to write a test. It's a ping pong thing. You make it pass and you write a failing test, and the next person makes it pass, and then they write a failing test. Okay. All right, let's make it happen.
So where's my commit? Tests.
Okay, so the next test, can you guess what the next test is?
Didn't you say we were going to do something against the standard? Like instead of random input, we're going to do an actual structured piece of OData?
There is the select, but this should tokenize multiple. Not this. This is not the test. There is multiple nested raw queries. Where's the actual test? Did you add the test not in the exact order? Let's move that test at the very bottom. That helps us know where are we chronologically, especially when you're working on massive projects. You want to pick up the latest and consider that to be the last. Okay, so this test is still problematic, you guys. There's still a problem in this test. Can anyone guess what the problem is with this test? It's making an assumption that the nesting is only going to happen at the last property, which is not true. right? So what we want to do here, we want to randomize nested properties across all the properties that are in the select statement. So just to make myself clear, and I'm going to take the screen from you for a second, Paul. What I want to do here, see how we started really simple and it's evolving. This is exactly the how this works. You know, see, it's getting deeper and deeper, and I hope that people understand. Like,
Do you want me
why
to live share it, Hassan? If you
live
want to work on my VS instance.
No, it's okay. It's okay, brother. I got it right here. I just wanna, just show people something. It's like we're starting with select and we said ID, name, age, right? And we went all the way up to the point where we're saying, okay, ID, name, age with another select inside age. Let's say there is a courses, and inside of the courses there's another select that says give me the course ID and the course name, right? But this is also not complete yet because there's another case where I want to go and say ID, name, age, courses with select and whatever in here. And then again, I have teachers, and inside the teachers, I have select ID name, and these can be distributed across the query. So it's not just one place or the last, look only at the last. It can be across multiple locations, which makes the current test that we have incomplete, just incomplete. What we want to do, we want to randomize where the nesting happens. So, Paul, if you want my opinion, I would randomize the creation of these nested, select statements, and randomize the creation of just simple properties, and then shuffle that list. Sometimes the nesting is going to happen at the beginning, the middle, at the end. That way you're testing a behavior. Any questions?
What have you got against me? But last week it was recursion out of nowhere. Now it's like
Now it's combinatorial.
he just hates me, doesn't he?
It's really simple. You know what's sad about this is that, okay, it's not really sad, but what's interesting and exciting about this is that the further we go, the more complex the code is gonna get, just a little bit. But I'm still in debate, and I'll ask all of you. Right now, the tests that Paul just made pass already covers all the previous ones, like automatically covers all the previous one. However, for the sake of readability and targeting particular capabilities and particular features, I'm going to keep them there so people understand in that gradual chronological order where we started and where we ended, and then maybe we'll kind of simplify these tests later. So let's write a new test with multiple nested, properties, and good luck. Back to you, Paul. Poor Paul. It's like it's, I bet. Let me tell you this, Nick. I bet Paul thought I made it pass, so my day is over. I don't have to do anything. That's not how pair programming works. Let's see.
It sounds you give for another interview question.
That's another interview question. It's actually much simpler this way. Like, go back to the go back to the test real quick, Paul. Like, you have get random query with multiple properties. You have the get random nested, the one that Nick wrote, right? We just need to randomize that nesting. That's all. Yikes.
Paul is wiping his tears.
Paul is like, I knew I was doing something wrong walking into this project. I didn't know what it is. Do you want me to do it for you?
I'm just trying to figure out where you've obviously had the week to think about this, and I knew you were going to go in a direction. I just didn't know what it was. So, you've obviously got.
Why don't you create an array of have the randomized thing, create an array. It could just be a Boolean array, right? It's like nested, not nested, nested, not nested. It's about, you just need to randomize the combinations, right? That's all you need to do. And then in your test code, you would call the thing appropriately as to whether or not you need nested, and then generate appropriately.
Yeah, so what I was thinking was, could we simplify the code that we already have. So this is why I started in here, because my thinking was like returning string array. Maybe the smart answer here is to just return a single array of strings and then just concatenate them in the test. So
remember, your test is not supposed to be doing preparation work in terms of the data. It's only constructing out of one, again, Euclid law of axiom. He's basically saying, okay, you have this blob, and I'm gonna extract expected, and I extract input out of it, and then compare at the very end, given that the function is gonna do the right thing, right? But what Nick just said is very interesting. It's very promising. We just need to kind of think about it a little.
I mean, you can layer, right? Generate your conditions, your flags, and then have something called that says, okay, as I iterate through this, if I have a nested, go generate the nested, put that together, and
I'm
so on
okay
and
with
so on.
that. So Paul, what he's basically saying, what Nick is basically saying is that you could write a function that returns a random Boolean value. So every time you call that function, it tells you true or false randomly. And then out of these random values, you're going to determine whether to return nested values. Like whatever Nick returned, you're just returning a collection of that. That's really all that it is. Like bunch of outers and inners, and then just combine them together.
Not to get like super geeky about this, but like, so when we start talking about randomization, right? Like in strings, it's one thing. Like we are saying, we know we want the property to exist, right? So we know we're going to have something. Here's the thing. Like we are unsure of the distribution of the random numbers that are going to be used to generate these Booleans. It is completely possible, although unlikely, that you are going to have across test runs no nested, no nested, no nested, no nested, no nested. Whatever this randomization is doing, something up above needs to ensure that we have at least one nested, and we need to ensure that we have the coverage, at least for this particular test run, right?
You could. And my original idea was to basically say generate bunch of random nested and bunch of random not nested and just mush them together.
I agree with that. As long
Yeah.
as the numbers are non-zero, that
Yep.
works.
Yep.
Right?
2 to 10 exclusive to the 10. Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, we're talking about, what is it, number of alternate universes? Dude, what do you say in the end game? Like 14 million and 6?
Yeah, I went through 13 million iterations, and how many we win? One. I'm like, yikes.
One.
Do you know that this hand gesture that he made in the end game, it was actually improvised. He didn't, the director did.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yep.
on Benedict Cumberbatch's part when he
Yep.
signals to Tony, right?
Yep.
Nice.
That's
That's really cool.
That's improvised, and also, the handshake. The thing about, Cumberbatch is a genius. He's a genius. Like, normally when people talk about actors, they say if you can get 70% of the script there, you're lucky, because actors will improvise. They're
Yeah.
not just going to do exactly what you ask them to do. They're going to add something in there. You know what I mean?
Kind of like developers.
Sorry?
Kind of like developers do.
If I have people under me, if I have people working for me that do 70% of what I want them to do,
That's
I would
great.
consider it fairly successful.
Yeah, that's success right there. I don't know if any of you watched the Netflix movie Don't Look Up for Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a very sad movie. That's satire. Almost 50% of that movie is improvised.
Oh wow.
Yep.
It's not a documentary.
They may as well. They may as well, Joe. Oh my God.
Change the topic a little bit.
That reminds me, there's a Jason Sudeikis show coming up on Netflix where he plays a homicide detective, and he has a different guest star on every single week, but they don't get scripts. They have to completely improvise the role based on what he tells them. And he has like Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch, and it just looks hilarious when you look at like
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that. Yeah, yeah, I like that. Paul has no idea what we're talking about. We're like, what are these Yankees talking about?
I'm being nice. I'm providing cover for Paul here.
Mm. Paul, what do you think? It's getting serious,
mute.
Are you
Paul.
looking at his codes?
Yeah, I'm looking right at his code. Hey, Paul, do me a favor. Collapse the left side test menu. You don't need that for now, and just zoom in a little bit further. I'm a little older. I'm a little blinder. Yep, there you go. Now I can see. Penny whistles and moon pies.
Hassan, you ever see Coming to America?
Yes, of course.
So on the vein of improvisation, not really improvisation, but something that ends up working, in the way, there's a scene where what's his name, John Amos's character, the father, is hosting at the house, and people keep coming. Hakeem's at the house with the earrings, and his daughter's there, and he keeps running back and forth to the door. There's a scene where he goes to the door. I think it's where James Earl Jones, like Hakeem's father, shows up, but he trips going to the door. That was not planned in the movie.
No,
They were rolling it, and
That's
he just
crazy.
like he's going, and they left it in because it just works so well.
Dude, you should see. Actually, you guys are from New York. You should see The Booth. There's a movie called The Booth. It's very old.
Oh wait,
The whole movie is inside a phone
there's a
booth.
phone booth, right?
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
movie, and that scene where he's just kind of opening up and becoming vulnerable. It was the first shot. He got it
Oh,
right
wow.
the first time. Yeah, this is. I look at these things and I get inspired, right? So, okay, Paul is writing if else statements in the test generation. Okay, let's go. That's not a good sign, but let's keep going. Let's just see what.
Paul, I think you have to create a new test case, right? You're working on the existing test case.
Yeah, you need to create a new one, buddy. He's kind of cutting corners. He'll be like, I don't care about this project anymore. Paul, please don't take the whole hour this time. We don't have time for this. I mean,
You've driven me to this. Driven me to it. It's the craziness of having to deal with you on a day-to-day basis. I just can't handle it anymore. I'm gonna need therapy.
So instead of saying with nested query, type nested queries, multiple nested queries.
With multiple nested queries.
Yeah. We didn't even dig in the X dimension, you guys. I'm just keeping Paul at the surface. Like, what if you have nested, like select. I'm just playing with him.
It's multiple top level nested.
Top level. Let's do that. I like that. He can't hear us right now. He doesn't speak English anymore. He just lost his
Just
motor
disgusted by you.
skills. I bet you thought this was gonna be a hello world. And then we package the library and be like, yay, we wrote OData Neo. Look alive, Paul. Welcome to the
don't worry.
desert of
Just
the
make
real.
the test case failing.
That's it. Just make it fail, you know?
Yeah. I do think it should be fair.
Yeah. So Paul, can I share an idea with you? Can I share and care? He doesn't care. He's on mute. He's just like, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to talk to anybody. Look, he's writing a new language. He's putting tildes in there.
Right, leave me alone.
So Paul, just hear me out, mate. Hear me out. Might hear me out. It's Tuesday. It's Monday. So let's just talk to each other. Okay. So let me just tell you something. Why don't you modularize this? Like, just create a function that says, give me a nested query and give me a non-nested query, just individually, and then just start spitting that out. Like just start randomizing that in. I promise you, it'll work like a charm. Like just a property or a property with nested query. That's all you have to do. It's sweet, simple. You're overthinking this, you know.
Am I? I'm
So,
overthinking it.
so can I share an algorithm with you? Just an
Sure.
algorithm. Okay, hear me out. Here's the deal. Are you with me? Are you with me or against me? Okay, there you are. Okay, so hear me out. This is just a simple algorithm. Okay, take it or leave it. It's for you. Okay, here's the deal. Can you see my notepad?
Yeah.
Okay, two functions: get basic property function and get property with nested query. So far, so good, right? Just simple as that, right? And then
Right.
all you got, and then all you gotta do, mate, is to just go here and say, just hear me out. Both of these return strings, okay? It's just strings. So far, so good, right? No problem there. Actually, screw that. Here, it'll give you the string and the property, which is, a list of strings for that data. Here you go. String, and then the nested properties like this. In this case here, this guy is null. It doesn't have anything in it. Okay? And in this case, this guy does actually have a nested stuff in it. Just hear me till the end and then do whatever you want. Now, all you gotta do is just get an array of both of these, right? So all you gotta do is you need an array of string properties. That's your array. And get random basic properties. And then the same thing here. You want to get random nested properties. Random nested properties. So now you got a bunch of them, right? Now the last thing you want to do is just combine them together in one list and then shoot them from the other side. You're done. So return, the list union, another list, done. Why is that too bad? What's wrong with this one? Yikes.
Are you on mute?
All right. So the basic one we've already got. Get query with random multiple properties. Yeah.
Right. The one that returns three
Okay.
things, right?
Shall I
Operand. Go ahead.
Shall I cannibalize this one that I already made?
Let me go back. Let me go back to your screen. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'll leave that there for now. If we rip it out, we rip it out. What am I returning from here?
Do you know why I asked you? I asked to engage because once you start writing if-else statements in your tests, you're doing something wrong.
You totally are, yeah.
So let's just see what we have here. You have let's go back to the test preparation, like the root file, real quick. The root file, brother. So get random query with multiple properties, get random query with multiple properties. Right? And you have one that is the outer and one that's the inner. You know what's even cute about this is that you can actually, like that function that's called get random query with multiple nested properties. This guy right there is your one function that will give you the complex property. This is the complex property part, right? And then the other one is the one that just returns property. It doesn't return that second one. Literally like that. That's it. And I don't know why Nick fucked it up like this, but it's okay. He's Nick.
As I've gotten older, I found that I like 72 characters too much. 50 is like the sweet spot.
120 is usually the case, but some people will go a little bit smaller. I heard of that because of people on laptops and and then some people just throw the rule off the window and you have like a train for 3 miles. You need to take an Uber to get to the end of the it's just ridiculous. Okay, Paul, what do you think? Where are we at? What's happening? What's tripping in the woods? In the OData woods? Yo, yo, yo. You need a closing thingy, I think.
I almost never use tuples.
You could live life without that, but what kind of life is this?
It does add quite a bit of characters.
It does add a little complexity. I agree, Joe. It does have a little bit of problem in it. Mm, poor Paul. He thought today was gonna be the day he has fun.
You got 7 minutes, Paul,
Yep, literally 7 minutes on the clock.
and then I'll have about 10 seconds.
Yep. It's okay, Joe. We'll give it to Sam. Sam is gonna make the test pass, right, Sam? Is that what you can do? No? Or is it my turn?
It's my turn.
Yeah, either one of us. I don't care. As soon as Paul started creating types and models, I knew he's just still going in the wrong direction. But let's just keep watching. It's fun. He's looking at me.
I'm taking your approach. God damn it! Leave me alone!
Why are you breaking the natural space-time continuum and flow of the tests? Okay. Just keep
The thing
doing,
is,
brother.
you have to catch up the source from Hassan.
You gotta catch the source. You gotta.
So,
Yeah. Paul,
so
Paul.
we need to create two functions, new two functions, and leave
Mhm.
the existing code unchanged, right?
Yep. Don't touch the current code and just create two new functions, mate.
Is
Total
everyone a
bull.
project manager here?
Yes.
It's actually weird. Nick is weirdly quiet today. I don't know what happened to him.
I am actually monitoring my day job, and I'm actually trying to write an optimized version of something that's
Yeah, create the
painfully slow.
first function is get basic property as
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look, you got it, buddy. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Writing this test is gonna be so much fun. Just wait. He's just preparing the data. He's just preparing the data. I'll tell you this though. Would you have rather? Okay, would you have rather me telling you what I was gonna talk about before the session started, so at least you're mentally prepared? No, that's not fun.
No,
You
not
know,
at all.
the best thing about software engineering, you come to work and you have no idea what you're gonna be working on today, and then Hassan comes in and be like, "Yay, let's write the most complex piece of code in the world." No, seriously, I
very.
need. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I seriously need to nag those Roslyn folks. I'll pull one of them in. Don't worry. I can pull anybody. I'll pull some of them in. I'll even bring David Fowler if needed. I'll be like, "Hey, oh, David, what's going on here?"
I was thinking, like, you know who Eric Lippert is, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's funny because the whole reason I thought about distribution is because he wrote some like 30 post blog series on creating like a properly distributed like random number generator, like 30 posts. It was at first like, okay, five, but then just kept going and going. I'm like,
Yep,
man,
yep,
I was like, but these are problems that need to be
yep,
solved.
yep. For people watching us, if you get an interview question like this, here's the real case scenario. That's literally what we're doing. Arrays and nested arrays. It's gonna end up being an array of arrays at the very end. And then our test is gonna be so simple and beautiful, you guys wouldn't believe it. It's almost like I wrote one. I don't know. Must have been in my dream. uh,
Speaking of interviews, I did a coding test this weekend for like a position somewhere, and
nice.
they asked to take a directed to cyclic graph, and you had to read the edges in from like from standard in. But then they're like, how do you A, construct the graph, and then B, output all of the paths from one end to the
one
other.
node.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So like from end to end, and
Yep.
yeah, no, it was interesting. Like I talked about it in the Discord, but like I was like, this is not memory efficient. This may be time efficient, but like the more I thought about it, I couldn't think of and maybe I don't know, like, but yeah, I don't like interview questions.
I'll tell you this much: when I interview people, I
Mhm.
don't expect them to write the most optimum code. I just want to know how they're thinking.
Yeah.
Like how are they breaking down the problem? That's all.
Yeah. You rag on me for the comments, but in that environment where I don't have anyone on the other side, it's nice to be able to say, okay, here's what my thought is around this. This is why I did this. This is why I chose this, etc.
Yep. My main man, Paul. I put you on mute though, because I wanted you to not. I wanted us not to hear you, but I wanted you to hear us. So it's like,
Oh,
Joe, it's okay if you have to run. I understand.
you talking about me or Paul?
Joe.
Oh, Joe.
Joe
Yeah,
has.
I have to hop off for another meeting.
Okay, man. Talk to you in a bit.
There's. Oh God, am I gonna have to implement something?
Yes.
Shit, I'm not ready.
It's actually either me or Sam. I'll take it. I'll take whatever Paul. If
I
if
want to see Sam. I
Sam,
really do.
no, Sam is a gangster. Just wait. This guy is I love Sam. I really do, man. I love you, brother. I want you to know that.
And the Italian guy also booked another meeting this morning, just at the 10.
Who, the same guy?
The same guy.
And he didn't invite me? That's okay, Sammy. As long as people are getting the help they need, that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, if we can finish it within 20 minutes, I told him that yesterday that even Hassan booked a 1 hour meeting, it typically runs over 1 hour.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I suppose him to move the meeting 15 minutes later. So it could be around 10:15 a.m.
Yep. That's all right. Yep.
It's just another questions. If I cannot answer his question, I will invite you join the meeting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a possibility, Sam. You know everything. I'll be honest with you. I'm just trying to make sure that people are getting the help they need. I'm happy to be that channel.
All right.
Yes, sir.
What did you have in mind for joining up the queries? So I've got all the various parts as parameters with dollar something equals comma comma comma.
So okay, so you have the parameters.
So do you want me to run this again and show you?
Yeah, let's debug it.
Yeah, please.
What will return?
Please, Paul. As I walk this land of broken dreams, I have vision of many things. You're gonna have to step over, mate. Okay. Now give me the query.
Step over, might me?
Might.
Why is it null?
Might. Paul, how do I distinguish between a British accent and an Australian accent? Like, how do you tell the difference? Also, when do you replace the T with and when do you replace it with really heavy T? Like beta or better.
Better. All right.
And then here in America, they just throw it all away and put a D in there. Better.
Better.
That is so much better.
Oh my God.
So this friend of mine, she's from Australia, and in Australia they call McDonald's Macca's. Macca's, right? So they don't say McDonald's, they say Macca's, right? So she came here to America and she told her American friend, oh, we call it Macca's, and he Americanized it so fast she didn't know what hurt her. He turned it into Mackey's. Paul, do you know how to debug, son?
What the? Why is my value not coming up in the
Because
debugger?
you're out of the scope. Just define another variable under it and just type console right line or something. You can
I
also
thought I would still be in scope there.
you can also just select the whole statement. Just do something in there. Yeah, just put a breakpoint. Gosh darn it, Paul, what happened to you?
I
Oh,
thought
data
when you're
new
on the
broke your
closing
brain.
brace, you're still in scope.
Is it?
I thought
Is
you
it,
were,
Paul?
but
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe
Unless
not.
you're just returning a null.
Yeah. I'm not quite out of scope. I thought I was still in there.
Yikes.
What's
Maybe I'm just-
what's the value of the items?
All right.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah, there you no, he just needed help with debugging.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, I'm just. I just can't code anymore. That's not
We broke the
I need
guy's
help.
brain. It's over.
It's time. I need a new career. It's time to give up.
Walmart is hiring greeters.
Stop.
Just step up from
Let's
this.
not
isn't it?
disparage, like, you know, people who are working to make a
Okay.
dollar.
All right. What fun is that? Okay. So query item select. Okay, I got the queries.
Yeah. So what my question was how did you anticipate stitching them all together? So this is just a randomly sized array of randomly sized queries.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Stay there. Now these are what I call, like, this is just part of the equation, right? We want these to be attached to other properties. So you're creating a bunch of simple properties, right? Excuse me. You're creating a bunch of simple properties, and then you need to create a bunch of nested properties, and then just unionize those. Just
Right.
put them in a
So do
union.
you want me to do that in here in the test?
Not in the test.
Not in the test. So in here.
In the preparation, yes.
In the preparation. Okay. So this is going to return, at the moment, this is returning the individual items.
Yes.
So these items here, which we concatenate into the query parameters.
So go back to random query real quick.
So the thing about the way that we've written the other tests is that you need the item objects, the tuples, effectively, because we're using those in the test.
Totally understand. If you return a list of tuples that have inners and outers, and then another list of tuples where the outer is a value and the inner is null, that's it. Your bid is made.
List of tuples.
Can we just create a type around that at this point? Because now we're nesting, right? There's two nested. They're going to be in a list. That type declaration is going to be stupid.
Well, if there was only a data type that we already created that we can reuse.
I mean, wouldn't it make more sense just to build a model and then...
We already have one. It's called O node. You could reuse that.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I can't figure out is is it still a valid test if we build a model and then crawl the model and build the query from it?
Who cares? As long as the output as long as you get distinct output that is not the same, like as long as that O node that is generated is not the same O node that you use in your test, who cares?
See what he said, but also the other thing is you can't repeat the business logic in your test. You could start from the back, just so you guys understand. Let me just go back to something, because we only have 7 minutes, and we can continue this, but I just want to show you something really important about testing here. This is the most important part. You know, if your end result, remember, let's say your end result is z, and z is coming out of your function doing x plus y equals z. That's your core business logic. That's what you're testing. That's logic, right? That means that the preparation of your tests will be exactly as follows. You're going to create z, and out of z, you're going to extract x, and out of z, you're going to extract y. And then you're going to pass x and y to your function and let the function produce z. So you're starting backwards, like your logic is going like to z from here, but your test is going from this direction. Your test starts from the result and goes to the other side, and your logic starts from the actual input parameters and goes to z. Actually, it would be exactly something like this, into this direction. So it starts from Z and it works its way back to X and Y. Doesn't make sense, does it? So if this is X and hold on. If this is X and Y, and this is X and Y, this is where you're working. You're working your way back into that result so you don't repeat that logic. Yikes. I'm looking at your faces and I'm not okay.
Well,
It's like I'm showing you fire.
well, instead of returning parameter, operand, whatever, just return O node. Randomly populate O node. Populate
In
there, like
ex
just literally create the tree, right?
in Paul's case, it would be Paul would go and create O node. That's what Z is. It would be
Mhm.
O node, and he will work his way back into the query, and he will extract X and Y out of it and waits for the business logic to produce that exact O node.
One of the good things about working back that way is that you also get your expected
Mm-hmm.
along, at the same time.
Yep. Euclid's law of axioms. I did invent the shit, not the law of axioms, but implementing it in unit tests, but that's why we're hanging out. Anyway, here's the deal. Listen. We only have 5 minutes. Let me try to write that test next time. Paul, would you be okay with that? I'll write the test and I'll give it to Sam, and Sam's gonna make it pass. Okay?
Sorry,
You know what? Sam was telling me last session. He said to me, Hassan, when are we gonna write code? I'm like, well, we're a part of the community now, Sam. So sometimes we won't be writing code. We'll be just cracking jokes and being mean to everybody. So it might happen as well. But anyway, let's just hold off to that. This is what I really wanted to kind of convey, because we already have a good stopping point from the last session that we made the test pass and Paul explained why things are working the way they are. Let's pick up the next session where I write a failing test and Sam will make it pass and continue that cycle. Since Joe dropped off of the bandwagon there, he'll probably be back next session, and we'll continue. Where is Zach? What happened to Zach?
Who's
Zach
that?
disappeared.
Oh,
Zach.
Zach. He
Yeah.
showed once.
It's like, listen, man, there's code involved. That's not what I thought this is gonna be, so I'm gonna be. No, he's
Some
just
people are
probably
about that, like, I want some serious shit, like
right,
this ain't
right.
it.
Anyway, cool. Thank you guys for showing up today. This is great. Again, don't forget to watch the .NET, 20-year thing. This is pretty cool. I'm super excited about that. And as usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, compliments for Paul, uh, don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.